Alon, Wasalon. I should crown you for viewing. I am the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with another chapter reading from Stolen Legacy, author George M.James. And we gonna this particular segment, we're not gonna do a lot of intro talking. We're gonna dive into this. We're gonna get some education out of this. We're gonna get closer to our ancestors. You know what I mean? Closer to our ancestors. And once again, like I said, if you're on my Facebook channel, you're on my Facebook page, you're on my YouTube channel, put your notifications on. You got what I'm saying? Because as you can see, if you've really been following, really been fully viewing these readings, it's going up. You got what I'm saying? It's going up. Everything is getting interesting. This is the meat and potatoes of this meal I have given to you. I'm serving to you. Let's get into this chapter 6 reading. External wars or wars with the Persians. Come on now. Come on. The Persians came up in ancient Kemet. You know that, right? You know that, right? All right. The Ionian revolt against Persian rule. This was in 499-494 BC. This climaxed in a naval engagement at Ladi, where the Ionian fleet was defeated. The Battle of Marathon, 490 BC. During the summer of 490 BC, the Greeks met the Persians at the Bay of Marathon, and after a brief fight with bows and arrows, both belligerents withdrew to prepare for more decisive engagements. Now, the battle of, have you viewed the movie 300? Have you viewed part 1, part 2? That remember that battle right there? And part 2, they was on these ships. That's what they're referring to right there. You feel what I'm saying? And it took, I think they came out to the sea twice to battle. You got what I'm saying? The Battle of Thermopylae. 10 years after Marathon, the Persians and Greeks met again to settle their grievances. The Persians anchored in the Gulf of Pagasae, while the Greeks anchored off Cape Artemisium. A battle followed, and Thermopylae was captured by the Persians. The Battle of Salamis. Both Persians and Greeks met again at Salamis in 479 BC, and a naval engagement followed with considerable loss of ships on both sides. Both belligerents withdrew without any decision. The confederacy of the Los and their wars with the Persians. And this was in 478 to 444 BC. The purpose of the confederacy was defense against Persian aggression, and 2 naval battles were fought. One at the river Eurymedon in 467 BC, when the Greeks gained a minor victory, at the other at Cyprus in 449 BC, when the island was captured by the Persians. Now, as I spoke earlier in another reading, where that, if you never able to rebuild your military, you got what I'm saying? Like, when you look at what was done to Kemet, you feel what I'm saying? The first victory that was ever won in Kemet, that was the start of the demise of a dynasty that was supposed to last forever under the Kemites' rule. You understand me? Under the Kemites' rule. So, if you never give a person a chance to rebuild, to grow, you feel what I'm saying? Because when you think about this, let's say that we have 50,000 in our military, 50,000 men in our military, We go to war and we lose 25,000 of them. You feel what I'm saying? We lose 25,000. It don't take nothing but a skilled army of 30,000 to defeat us on the next battle. You see what I'm saying? So how many years do you think it would take for to get that 25,000 back, or to get that army up to 75,000? How many years? How many centuries? You feel what I'm saying? How many decades? Let's put it in decades. How many decades? You get what I'm saying? So if you're really going to war with a person, you gotta hit them hard. You can't let them breathe. Can't let them breathe. If you look at one of the flags of Virginia, it's a man or a woman standing on your neck, not letting you breathe. Foot in your chest. You ain't gonna breathe. You on your back and you ain't gonna breathe at all here. You feel what I'm saying? At all. Got me? That is the history of Virginia. You understand with me? Once they own you, they ain't gonna let you breathe. You got what I'm saying? They gonna till you surrender. So I say this to you again, you know what I mean? Everything we done up in Kemet, you know what I mean, to build a civilization, to forge a way of life that was so righteous of understanding, where that we had a multitude of success in Africa. You feel what I'm saying? But we went wrong with whom we pray to. We went wrong with allowing devilish acts, devilish ways, devilish prayer, devilish worship to be more successful than showing ourselves righteous. You feel what I'm saying? Living a righteous life, making righteous decisions, so that we will always have the favor of the gods. You feel what I'm saying? You always want to be in favor of your God. You feel what I'm saying? God or gods. You feel what I'm saying? The demiurge, you should always want to have the demiurge favor. You get me? There are blessings. That's where our blessings come from. That's where our life comes from. That's where a breath of air that we need while we're asleep or while we're getting ready to wake up comes from. You know, you can, you know, it's a tale. You feel what I'm saying? It's a story that every time you burp, you can die. You feel what I'm saying? If you burp the wrong way, you can kill yourself because it cuts off your passage of breathing. You understand me? Let's get back into this reading. Chariots were not used in any of these engagements. Internal wars, Peloponnesian Wars, 460-445 BC and 431-421 BC, respectively. These wars were fought between the different Greek states, and their major engagements were maritime. In 432 BC, Athens blockaded Potidea, and Megara was excluded from Greek markets. In 431 BC, Thebes attacked Plateau, and while a Peloponnesian army occupied Attica, an Athenian fleet raided Peloponnesus. Pericles conducted the evacuation of Attica, and the oligarchs at Corcyra were massacred, and after the seizure of Amphipolis, Nicus sued for peace. It is evident that Greek culture and tradition did not furnish Plato with the idea of the charioteer and winged steeds, for nowhere in their brief military history do we find the use of such a war machine by the Greeks as a chariot. The only nearby nation who specialized in the manufacturing of chariots and horse breeding was the Egyptians, as already mentioned. Now, and since the judgment drama in the Egyptian Book of the Dead depicts the allegory of the charioteer and winged steeds, credit for its authorship cannot be given to Plato, but to the Egyptians. Well, look, that's the end of this part of this chapter reading, and you know, we're going to get into Aristotle next, you know what I mean? And like I said again, you know, a lot of this is connecting. A lot of this is really making sense about why things are it is today. A lot of things are showing that we are a cursed nation. A lot of things are showing that since the beginning of time, since our demise in Africa, our demise in Upper Egypt, that we have took on a unrighteous trait of not listening. You feel what I'm saying? Not listening. It's time to teach our babies to listen. And if you are a parent, well, I had just finished eating. But if you are a parent that has no open mind, then that means you are not a person that listens. You feel what I'm saying? I reiterate saying that there's nothing wrong with listening because no one is asking you to put actions behind it. Listening is easy. Putting actions behind it is hard because you have to figure out what you're listening to. Is this the right thing to do? You feel me? Is this the right way to go about what I just heard? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. Process it. Understand it. Look, you've been with the Nasty Pastor, and it's been another chapter reading from Stolen Legacy. I'm out, and I love you.